It's so easy to believe that loving our home is just one more purchase away. When I get that new rug, when I finally reupholster the couch, if only the tile were different or we had more space for guests. But the list never ends. So what if the key to loving your home isn't more, but actually appreciating what you already have? Today, I'm sharing simple ways to fall in love with your home again by first, reimagining what you already have, second, applying my 5 senses approach to coziness, and third, examining your heart for a little shift in perspective. And right now I'm gearing up for the Modern Mom Simple Home Reimagine Summit, which I'm excited to share more about later in the video. So I can be a creature of habit. Once I have a space set, I'll make tweaks, but I rarely do overhauls. But especially in the early years of raising kids, I am realizing that the day-to-day changes a lot, and so it actually does become necessary to step back and reimagine a space for what we need right now. So this approach comes from The Nester by Michelin Smith. She uses the strategy of house hushing, where she removes the pieces that are always visible in a space, often decor, but it can also be like the stuff that sits out on your counters in your kitchen. So she'll pick one space and remove all of the items to a temporary staging area. Then after emptying the space, she'll clean it, clean the items that were removed, and then live with it for a day or two. This helps to reset your expectations for the space and see it with new eyes. When you start bringing things back, you'll be able to do so with a fresh perspective. I was kind of resistant to doing this, but it ended up making me realize that I've been waiting for my kids to get older so that I could rework some of what was out on our counter versus what was in our pantry. And I forgot about that plan. But then I was like, oh wait, they're old enough now, I can rework things. So just removing a few things completely got my wheels turning on changes I'd like to make in the kitchen organization. And I ended up liking having a little less decor on the shelves. It felt refreshing, and so I was much more reserved as I added things back in. Now, one of the ways that I've grown most in managing and loving my home is by learning from others, which is why I decided to take part in the Modern Moms Simple Home Reimagine Summit, a free 3-day event designed to help you master simple systems, streamline routines, and create a home that truly supports your family and life. You'll hear from incredible speakers like Becky Truda, Emily Elizabeth May, Mia Danielle, and me. I'll be walking people through my hide and decide decluttering method, as well as hosting a Q&A. It'll be an amazing opportunity to learn from and possibly be introduced to a bunch of creators in this space. Your free ticket includes 24-hour access to all of the summit presentations, but after you register, you'll have the option to upgrade your ticket to include the Home Reimagined Gold Pass. This will give you ongoing access to watch the presentations at your own pace, plus a whole lot of amazing extras. So visit the link in the description below to sign up, and the summit will take place from March 1 through the 3rd, and I can't wait to see you there. For those who love a minimal space but find the balance between minimal and cozy can be tricky, I think part of the issue is that we often focus too much on how a space looks, forgetting that coziness is a full sensory experience. So let's break it down using a living room as an example, starting with touch. What are the things that you regularly interact with? The furniture you sit on, the rugs you walk on, the pillows and the blankets you use? Are they soft, well-cushioned, and inviting? Do you enjoy the way they feel, like cool and crisp like cotton or satin, or warm and textured like linen or wool? A few cozy touches make a big difference, but too much can become impractical, like an avalanche of pillows you're always moving just to sit down. Next, let's talk about smell. A space should smell clean, of course, but beyond that, what scents feel comforting to you? For me, nothing beats the rich, earthy nostalgia of a wood-burning fire, but others might prefer something fresher like lavender or citrus. Now, sound. Beyond the crackling of a fire, I love the soft background of bluegrass or folk music, but sometimes I turn everything off and just listen to nature. Open the windows, hear the patter of rain or the whistle of the wind. Even taste plays a role in coziness, not because you're eating your decor, but because a cozy space should be functional. If I want to settle in with a cup of tea, I need a surface to set it on. A coffee table or side table might go against extreme minimalist advice, but removing all flat surfaces makes a space less livable. Balance matters. Finally, sight. Many people default to surface decor, vignettes with books, candles, or sentimental objects. I love small, meaningful touches, but there are other ways to create visual warmth without adding clutter. Floor-length curtains add texture and height. Paint, wallpaper, and wood treatments bring depth. Lighting is huge. Soft, warm bulbs, layered ambient and accent lighting. These details shape the mood of a space. So cozy isn't about more stuff. It's about engaging all of your senses in a way that feels good to you. All right, I'm going to pivot now to a more existential take on loving your house more. One of the biggest triggers for discontent in my life is envy. It's a dark, heavy emotion that is about more than just wanting what someone else has. It's actually resenting them for having it. When we're envious, we're not just unhappy with our own situation, we're unhappy that someone else is happy. And if they struggle, envy feels a little relieved. It's an ugly thing to admit, which is why it often hides itself. A common piece of advice is to eliminate the things that trigger envy. Unfollow influencers who make you feel like your life is lacking, and I agree that that helps. But some things you can't or don't want to remove from your life. You don't want to stop visiting your sister just because she has a gorgeous new kitchen. So here's where envy can actually be useful. It reveals the truth of our hearts. If I feel a pang of envy, it's telling me something about what I truly value. And honestly, for a long time, I didn't want to hear that. I wanted to build my own identity, curate my own life exactly how I liked it, and not be faced with the shallowness of my aspirations. But over and over, I had to face the fact that nothing I built was ever enough. My heart always wanted more. Proverbs 23:17-18 guides us to look up and look ahead. Worship Him, marvel at who He is, understand His grace. When we realize that God gives us unearned, unshakable love, that He doesn't begrudge us anything, our own envy starts to look small. And the sacrifice of Jesus tells me that God is endlessly committed to us. So what do we do with envy? We take it to Him. We stop looking around at what we don't have and start looking up and ahead to the only thing that truly satisfies. Minimalists warn us that the next purchase won't bring peace, so they encourage us to try the opposite. Live with less, get rid of your junk. And it does help. Owning less can create space for what truly matters, but it's not the final answer, because contentment isn't found in owning only 100 items. It isn't found in having a perfectly curated home with empty counters and exactly one dish per person. Contentment isn't something we achieve by tweaking our circumstances. It's found when we stop looking around for satisfaction and instead look up. There is exactly one thing that has brought me lasting contentment, no matter my circumstances, and that's Him. And to paraphrase Timothy Keller, if my relationship with Him is not the deepest honor of my heart and the greatest consolation of my soul, then envy will consume me. Because without Him, I am always chasing, always searching, always seeking self-justification. But when I look up, when I look ahead, I see that through Him, I lack nothing. So, until next time.